Good evening.
Hey, y'all.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening.
Yes. Let's get into this.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today is Wednesday, June 27th, 2018.
27th, yes.
Welcome to the BGKH show with Dominion and Epic.
Yes.
I am Epic.
And I am Dominion. And what does BGKH stand for?
So, you know, a little birdie told me the BGKH thing is, the B is for the blacks. The blacks.
The blacks.
The blacks. The blacks. Get into this skin, all this
Touch
black
the
skin, honey.
darling.
All
Touch
this
it.
blacks. Right. The G was for the gays.
The gays.
Hey, Cheryl.
The gays.
Hey, Cheryl. How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing?
The K was for the kinky folk.
The kinkies. The kinksters.
Come into my trick box.
Right. It won't be the first one. Listen, you said it, honey. You set it up, and I just
said
knocked
come
it down.
into.
Come
Not
in,
just come in, just come into.
Sure,
Okay,
honey,
all right.
sure, whatever.
And the H is for just because we're
all
all human.
Yes. So, you know, this is our last show before our hiatus.
Listen,
So this is episode 25.
there are so many mixed emotions with that.
I don't have any mixed emotions.
Well, mixed emotions in that A, I can't believe it's 25 shows.
Yes.
B, I can't believe, you know, we're going to be gone for a month.
Yes.
But C, I can't believe I don't have to, on Wednesday night, I don't have to get my ass up off the damn couch.
I know, right? Because like
and be here.
I was sitting there like,
this sleep is getting real good.
I was like, I don't want to say it out loud because you know if I say it too loud, I was like, I don't have to do that for the next month.
So you can just listen when
Relax.
your evening is planned or your week is planned around something that you do in the evening when you come home after work and a long day. There's sometimes you just want to relax and you don't have to get back up and come outside.
Right.
And listen, if anybody know me,
Listen,
It's
our
that one shoe.
producer's like, yes,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
'Cause when I get
and
home-
even though you hoes will not be here, I will still be here.
Yeah. Unfortunately. But we'll come by and visit. We're like, hey.
We absolutely will not.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was going to say, I won't. I was just trying to put it out there.
About you
Yeah,
while
I will be
we're
thinking about
having
you.
a cocktail,
I'm going to tune in online. So, yeah.
So, before we get started, we want to give a shout out to Drac Ramsey, one of the fans of the show. We met him at Folsom East last week. Was that last week or no? It was week before last.
Yes.
At Folsom East, and he came and hugged us and took pictures with us and
Yes.
everything. And we
Very
actually
personal.
saw him with one of the West Indian floats at New York Pride last week. He was looking good. He was like, okay, we see you. All right. So thank you for watching the show. We want to thank everybody who watches the show. You know, this wouldn't, we are having a wonderful time, but we are glad that you all are tuning in. And it really, listen, it surprises me every time when people like strangers
I watch
like,
the show.
Aren't you? And I'm like, why, yes, I am.
Meanwhile, my first reaction is like, bitch, do I know you?
Right. It was like,
What?
When people are like, aren't you Dominion? Who wants to know?
Like, maybe,
Right.
maybe. Then you got to get it together. It's like, but thank you all, because it's been. I didn't know how I felt about the show. I didn't know how it was gonna go. I didn't know how it was gonna be received. But I'm glad. So I mean, it's been wonderful, and for me, it's been very therapeutic. So, just bad days, and you come and talk about shit and get it off your chest and keep it moving.
Right. So I had certainly done something like this before, and I had even done it on Wednesdays, but I had done it from my house. So, all I had to do was roll up to my desk, and we did it via Skype, and it was just audio. So, I mean, I could be wearing whatever.
Lotion.
Right. And, we would just talk and whatever. But I was like, girl, I got to get up and get dressed and come someplace and be somewhat presentable. And so, I was like, I have not worn the same shirt for 25 episodes, and I still got plenty of shirts that I haven't worn. So
unfortunately,
I have been trying to give you low-key fashions every week.
Unfortunately, I have not done that, so we're going to go ahead and keep that moving.
But listen, these have just been T-shirts. I've not been giving you my best chiffon sheet.
Well, no. I'm not saying
that. I mean, Givenchy. Sorry.
Well, come on, I get it right.
Givenchy. I've not been giving you my best Givenchy
or Channel
or Versace.
Well, I mean, of course, you can't pull a Versace out for everybody,
right? So
duh.
Right. So I had a quiet weekend, but I still got a lot accomplished. I didn't get what I wanted to do though.
Which was?
I was supposed to go camping.
And I saw some of the pictures from that camping trip.
So there's this spot out in Virginia called Zebulon's Grotto, which is a clothing optional campground. And it's not even really a campground, because from the pictures that I saw, it looks like a little bit more than that.
I mean,
but it's like somebody has like a small mansion essentially with a nice pool and just like a salt pool and a hot tub and a few other amenities and a man-made lake, and it's on a couple of acres of land.
It is a man-made lake? I thought it was
a man-made lake.
Okay.
And there's a couple of acres of green space or whatever, and you can pitch a tent there. But I also found out from Azamek that you can also stay in the house.
Oh, I did see that.
So I'm like, well, bitch, what the fuck y'all was sleeping in tents for? Because he was like, that tent was some foolishness. He's like, next time I go, I'm staying in the fucking house. And I was like, thank you for that report, because I will be staying my ass in
if
the
I go,
I
think I might have to take a place in the house.
Yeah,
because I'm not the tent. I'll come outside and sit with y'all during the day.
Right, I will sit around the pool. I will take the moonlight swim in the man-made lake, but I'm going right. So that Friday dawned, and I was like, it is raining cats and dogs. And so Azamek and another one of our Onyx brothers were going down early, because there were going to be like 20 of us that were going to go.
Right.
And so I said to Azamek, it was like, he's not my slave anymore, but we're still friends. We still talk all the time. And
37 acres?
Oh, excuse me, 37 acres. He said,
come on.
He said, excuse me, 37 acres. My bad.
Okay, all right, okay.
So yeah, so it's not some little tiny
that's good
property. And, well, so according to some people, the tent was cool.
Oh.
Other people felt the tent was foolishness.
Well,
so there's a marked difference of
foolishness
opinions.
in a good way, or foolishness in a.
So I'll leave that to other people to judge in terms of putting the tent up.
So somebody called me and told me about this foolishness.
So no. We're not talking about what went on in the tent. It was the logistics.
Got you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Of the tent were foolishness, not what went on in the tent, because that's grown folk business.
Well, because I was like, listen, if it's foolishness, I want to hear all about it.
My thing,
video and pictures,
right? So
audio,
right? So
zoom in.
So it was raining cats and dogs, and so Azamek and a couple of our friends were going down to early, and I was like, so give me a report. So when they got there, they said, the ground was soaking wet, and I was like, well, girl, I'm not sleeping on the fucking ground. I've never been camping before. I was never a Boy Scout. I got out of that shit, and I was like,
I was.
So I was like, well, we'll check back later. And they said, well, it's still soaking wet. And a couple of people, one of our brothers that's organizing it said that, a couple of people already said that they weren't going. I was like, well, fine. Well, so then I won't be the only one that's backing out. So we decided not to go. Well, then, of course, the weather breaks, and then, of course, now these hoes are posting live videos about, we're having a wonderful time, and it's all sunny and hot, and, of course, they're doing pictures, and, the picture stops here, and,
or blurred out.
Or blurred out,
right.
So, again, it's a clothing optional spot, so clearly everyone's naked.
And standing strategic with hands and backs. They were all like, hey, I was
right,
like,
and it's all sunny and warm and everything, and I'm like, fuck you guys. But who did I have to blame? So, so we didn't get to do that, but I did get, it was very productive because yesterday I wrote a check for $12,000 as a deposit.
You get the name right? You spell my name right? I just want to make sure. Did you spell my name right on the check? I mean, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I did.
I just want to make sure
I did.
I did. I'm going to check my account. I'm going to go check Wells and just see if it's there. I just want to make sure.
Oh no, I got it right. I got it right. It's called You Done Lost Your Damn Mind, LLC.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure. Listen.
So that was the deposit for my basement, and in prep for my basement, I needed to clean out a lot of stuff from the basement. So Disciple helped me to clean out the basement.
Hey,
so
Disciple.
We went and we got a couple of guys from the Home Depot to come help me. So they show up and they were like, I was like, you guys got a truck? So, these two dudes had a truck. So they come over and one of them spoke, decent English, and the other one spoke almost no English, which I expected. Listen, I don't give a shit about none of that, because unlike some other people who believe these people are here taking our jobs, they do the shit that Americans don't want to do. I don't want to do none of this shit. I don't want to move none of this shit, and they want to do it. They have it's not so much that I don't want to do it. They had a truck. I don't. And, people keep acting like they are here illegally. This dude had like a Ford Bronco with a legal license on it, so this wasn't like some old hoopty. This was a late model truck, so clearly he had a truck that he had somehow managed to pay for with probably I'm sure he had insurance on it and everything. So these people are working and doing everything they need to do. So this whole false narrative, these people are taking jobs that belong to Americans. I didn't see if Americans wanted to stand out in front of Home Depot and do these jobs, then we would see them there. Do it. But I didn't see any person that looked like and by look like this, I mean either a native-born African American or a Caucasian person standing in front of Home Depot. So the opportunity is there. There's no law that says only people that look like they were born in Central or South America can do this job.
Right.
So that's a bullshit narrative. Anyway, I digress. So we get to the house, and they look around, and I'm like, I need you to move this, and this. And, he pulls up a number, and he says, $480. I was like, $480? I was like, sir, to move everything in this whole house
Didn't
10
cost
years
me-
ago cost me $600.
Right.
I was like, I got $200 flat.
And I might give you a bottle of Jack Daniels.
No,
It just depends.
$200. I ultimately paid him $225 because they really struggle to get the what do you call it? The cross trainer
Oh, and oh God.
out. Because first we tried to get it out the back door and we couldn't, so then we had to end up taking it up the stairs and then out the back porch and then
Took that thing
all
out,
around.
took that thing apart and kept it moving.
No.
Oh.
So because then if you take it apart, then you got to put it back together. It's just easier to get it up one flight of stairs and out. And then I found out that they were the Garcias and it was the son and his father.
Okay.
And I felt good because I was like, I was helping
business. Okay.
family-owned business, and they were from Guatemala, and it's like, listen, they tried to jack me at first. Once we agreed, that listen, what is more American than trying to rape somebody for some dollars? And once we came to a price, because really, he go, pull up the phone and be like $480, and I was like, that's not even happening. And of course, Disciple is like,
I don't speak English.
no. Let me tell you, Disciple is like, that's ridiculous. He looked at that price. He was like, $480. He's like, sir, that is ridiculous. He's like, you should just tell them to leave. I was like, I can't, no, because I need this done. This is like, I'm not spending more than $200. He said, okay, $375. I said, $200.
You fan it out in front of him.
I did. That's exactly what I did. I said, he is $200.
Fan out in front of you.
I am not giving you even a single nickel more.
That's it.
And
That's
then
all I got.
we were good. And then he's like, okay, so we're only moving these pieces. I was like, that's all I ever wanted you to do.
Right.
I think because even though the younger son spoke English better, they thought that I was wanting them to move all of the stuff. I was like, no, I just need you to move the big shit that doesn't fit in my SUV.
Okay.
Like the fucking piece of fitness equipment and, all this big stuff. Anything else that can fit in my car, I can take care of. And so that's what they didn't understand.
Okay.
So, and then of course, I did give them a little extra because, they were really struggling trying to get that big ass.
They got it out.
Right. And I'm not going to be a dick about it. So anyway, so I got that. And then as a treat after that, we went to Spa World.
I saw that.
Spa World was rural gay.
Wow.
Now it wasn't like
It was like
it wasn't
rural gay.
It wasn't
rural gay.
No. It wasn't.
Like
It was
rural gay.
It wasn't rural gay.
Oh,
It was rural gay.
so last week was we're still in June. It's still Pride Month, and
Yeah, it was happy.
Happy Pride.
It was happy Pride. It wasn't happy Pride. It wasn't touchy feely gay, but there was clearly it wasn't so no one was like fondling each other, but there was clearly comfortable male connection. So like dudes were clearly like sitting like close like this, and everyone was completely naked there.
Okay.
And I just feel like they wouldn't have been like three straight dudes would have been sitting like this.
Okay.
In the water like that.
But I've never
younger
been.
dudes now, like old guys, old white guys,
Sit
they'll be
down.
like, all right, Beth.
Man spread, and
goddamn, Beth.
your nuts is on the floor. You got to
Calm
step
down,
over
Beth.
them, and it's like
right.
Yeah.
So and then of course there's always the one dude who's the one
that's in the corner
serial
like
killer looking dude sitting there jacking like low-key jacking
Like-
his dick under the water, looking like Ted Bundy and shit. And I'm just sitting there like oh, and Disciple's like, sir, do you see that guy jacking his dick under the water? I was like, I'm trying not to watch.
Did you see? I just got a video the other day about this guy getting a pedicure, and lo and behold, he was sitting there jerking off.
No.
I hollered. The girl was so into that foot, she was just like,
She didn't even notice it?
So I don't know whether she didn't notice it or whether she was just like,
Didn't care.
Yeah, okay, I don't really care. Like, okay, whatever. Like, so I don't know. Maybe she's like, yeah. For $5 extra, do what you want to do. I don't care. Maybe, I don't know, but I hollered. I thought it was hilarious.
So, you know what? We got a lot to get into, so let's just get right into Pose.
I love this show because it brings back lots of memories for me, and it was very touching the last two episodes, and in particular there were two parts for me that I just absolutely lost it. And I was just a puddle of just running all down off my face and all caught up in my beard, where they had the Christmas episode and they were talking about Angel was talking about the red shoes. And I was already puddling, but when she got to
when they were at the restaurant,
and when she started talking about Billy Porter's character, Pray Tell, and she talked about this camera, and how it was when she first met him, it was a black and white camera, and he brought all the color back into. I lost it. I absolutely lost it.
This episode.
I lost it.
I was like, so this whole episode was about, the four main male characters being, now don't give me the lie, Pray Tell.
So
what's the boy's name?
We're gonna call him Dancer Boy. Dancer Boy.
Dancer Boy. Angel is a Latino boy. Pray Tell. Damon and Ricky. Damon is the dancer.
The dancer. Okay.
Ricky is his boyfriend.
Right.
Angel is a Latino boy. And Pray Tell. So Pray Tell had confided to Blanca earlier in the episode that he had stopped getting tested for HIV because he was like, what is the point? Everybody in their community has got it, is going to come to him,
his past boyfriends.
All of his past boyfriends. He didn't need that kind of drama in his life of worrying about it all the fucking time. So whatever. But Blanca was like, no, you need to do it. If not for yourself, then for these young boys,
yes.
So that they can get into treatment and whatever. So he says to them, we're all going to go get tested.
Yes.
And Ricky particularly was freaked the fuck out about it.
Yes, he was.
Of all of them, and we found out also, surprisingly, that Angel was straight-ish. Mostly. He said he let some dude suck his dick occasionally, which I was like, okay, so, but back then, they didn't know really that, if all you really did was let a dude suck your dick, your chances of getting HIV were practically non-existent. But I feel like that was what he said, but it was probably more than that.
That's what I believe.
That's what I
But that's a whole other story.
Or maybe that's what I want to happen. So they all go get tested, and then other things happen, and then so they all come back, and so we all have watched enough TV and have seen enough things happen in life that we know that everybody isn't going to get a happy ending,
right?
And this had all been prefaced with Ricky getting sick. So he's going to be in this spring showcase, and he gets the flu. And they're like, is it the flu? Or is it the first signs of HIV or whatever? And so they're like, your glands are swollen. And they're having this conversation, Ricky and Damon, about, well, they're safe most of the time. And, Ricky was like, well, I can't be because, I almost never bottom and, all this other stuff. And so, so there's all of that, and so all of this other foolishness.
But the one thing I do like about it, it touches the logic that it touches on the logic or gay logic of some of these kids that are out here that think that, oh, you can't do this, or if you do it this way, you can't get that, or the logic is not. It's gay logic, and it's ignorance because you don't know.
Right.
And so I'm glad they touched on that, because people will say that all the time. Oh, you can't get this. You can't do that if you do it this way.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. I remember some doctor saying that there is some logic to that. If you top exclusively, but if you are in a community, but when you are in this insular community, and at that time, you are in an insular community where. So HIV, like any virus, it's like the flu. Like everybody was getting it. So everybody you were dealing with has it. So there's no way that you weren't dealing with people that didn't have it.
Exactly.
So there were too many opportunities, even if you were only topping, for you to get it.
Absolutely.
There were too many opportunities for you, even if you were only topping, for it to find a pathway into your body. Even if you were only topping, for it to find a pathway, even if you threw a cut in your penis,
exactly,
or something.
And that's the point I'm trying to make when I say gay logic. It's not based on any sort of scientific fact,
right? And
the facts remain. Because I had someone that even told me a long time ago, "Oh my God, well I already topped, and so there's no way the virus is going to travel up my urethra," and I was like, So while that may be true, but here's the thing. If you're having some aggressive, rough sex, then guess what? There's a chance there's going to be a tear, whether it's on you or them. There's a chance.
Right.
So you might as well, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't use that gay logic.
Right. And so anyway, so we knew that there was not going to be, at least I knew, that there was not going to be a positive outcome for everybody. And I was like, is it? I know, I did not mean.
Yeah, that was a straight up pun.
A pun. I did not mean for that to be a pun.
Anyway.
So who was it going to be? Was it going to be Angel? Maybe, but no one really cares. I mean, Angel is not a main character. So it was going to be Ricky? Maybe. That would be devastating for Damon.
George, we're going to talk about that in a second.
What?
About the show, about the ratings, but come on.
Yeah. Or was it going to be Damon? I honestly was thinking it was going to be Damon, because then the journey would be, how is he going to reconcile his HIV status, with continuing to
go through school,
Absolutely. To be all of that. But okay, so they each come.
Spoiler alert! So for all those who watching who haven't seen it, spoiler alert, because we're going to talk about this. Sorry.
Right. Well, it's already
sorry.
Out. So Damon, Ricky, and Angel all come back negative, and everyone's super excited and everything. And then Pray Tell goes in and
listen, another powerful scene.
Powerful scene. Told him that they found the antibodies in his blood, and he was like, I need a moment alone. And because
he's like, I cannot.
I was
get
like,
yeah.
He should.
He was like, I can't get myself together.
When he wins what is it?
That would be it wouldn't be
not Tony.
It wouldn't be a Tony. Oops,
Emmy.
That's an Emmy.
When he wins the Emmy for that is the scene that they should show, because that was.
He was laughing, he was crying, but when he said he had to get himself together,
the range of emotion, because he was devastated.
Yeah.
But then he had to go out and lie to those boys and say
with a straight face,
and say
still keep
that
the emotions
he was
up.
Negative, and to say to them, to their face, because they're all excited.
Right.
We're all negative. Yay! Let's go eat and party and stuff. And inside, he is dying because he found out that he is negative. The one thing, because remember, he had said that he was. He didn't want to end up in the hospital like his boyfriend.
Exactly.
With the IV coming out and they won't give him the Jello and all of that.
Put the food in the hallway.
All of that. Mm-hmm. And he is now about to be on the cusp of his worst fears, but he can't share that with these boys because they are so excited. Mm-hmm. So he has to suppress all of that. And then, of course, he can't suppress that with Blanca.
No.
And so, but she understands.
And again, shout out to MJ Rodriguez, yes. Blanca, who is acting her ass off.
Yes.
I'm starting to really get into her acting skill, and I said that before that I liked Blanca, and I wish Blanca would have been played Electra's character. However, I actually like her now. I'm liking her in that character because her acting is pulling it off for me, and I don't know if it would have pulled it off.
I just can't
as Electra. I don't know.
I can see Electra's acting is still terrible,
But you're getting better. You're getting better, Tyra. You're getting better.
Is she?
She's getting better.
Is it just that is what that character calls for? It's just, I just don't see anybody else doing that. So part of it
is that's what that character calls for at that particular point in time, because that's the language and the speak of that time.
Right, and that's just
the kids
that
in the
over
80s.
Right, that's just that's how they spoke.
But
and that was a powerful arc. It did when she actually showed her doing the tuck.
Yes,
and all of that she went through. With her her. I don't even know if you call her a boyfriend, or more like her sponsor.
Man, friend, sponsor. Yeah.
And that was a very powerful storyline, how Angel and what's the other girl's name?
And the one who got the injections?
Yes. Oh, girl, when they went to that, not the black girl, not the black nurse, but when they went to that bootleg Spanish chick.
And she turned around.
She's like, oh.
I was like, what the hell?
You should have just, but you know, that just shows you what people are willing to go through. But I was
Let me tell you something. The girls that are watching this, show, and the girls that have been around and that were in Philadelphia or even on the East Coast, there was a legendary, and this term is incorrect, but at this particular time, that's what was used. I'm not even gonna say that. There was a legendary transgendered woman. Her name was Kelly Harper, and when I tell you Kelly Harper. At one time
was the black girl.
Candy, okay. Well, one time was one of the most beautiful women I had ever seen. Mm-hmm. But somewhere along the lines that she went a little bit overboard. And when I say she became a science experiment, because everything on her face was overly done. Lips overly done, cheeks overly done, forehead overly done, chin overly done, ass or head overly done. She just looked like a lump of clay. And it was just all meshed together. And this woman would walk the streets broad daylight, knew she looked a little different, but she also carried a hammer in her pocketbook.
Listen.
So listen.
The kids know.
But that woman that turned around, that Spanish woman that turned around with her face, she made me think of Kelly Harper. That's what she made me think of. So I shout out to Kelly Harper and any of her friends or anybody that may remember her. So may she rest in peace.
Yes.
But yeah.
So I'm loving everything about this show. I'm loving all of the different arcs. I'm still less interested in this whole story with Stan and Angel, although it is funny to me. I can just only think of him as Dawson's Creek. It is so funny to me.
James Vanderbeek.
It is so funny to me that
Fire and I was just talking about that.
2 episodes ago, Dawson's Creek was so pissed off that Stan went behind his back that he drove all the way to Jersey to fuck his wife as revenge. I was like, wow, that is deep.
James Van
on Christmas, no less.
Snorting coke in the office.
Snorting coke in the office. He was like, did you just go behind my back? And as revenge, drives all the way out to Jersey.
Bring gifts and also sleep with the wife.
Gift to fuck his wife. I'm like, that is
some bullshit.
That is a lot.
You got some big ass balls.
So yeah, but I don't really care about what happens.
I do want to see what's going to happen because in some way, shape, or form,
I care what happens to Angel.
Well,
I don't care what happens to Stan.
I also think that something that
I think something bad is going to happen to Angel as a result of fucking with Stan.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see how this is gonna play out. But one of the things that one of our friends actually just brought up was that, the show has been getting some really low ratings. I think the first show that when it came on was was over 500,000. It was like 600,000 views. Now the thing is, I'm not understanding how Nielsen or whoever else is calculating these ratings, because I think that people might be DVRing it and looking at it later. I'm not sure if that's being counted or if they're just counting people that are watching it live. So I'm not sure of that. But the ratings have been going down week after week after week.
I don't think it's even on FX. I think it's on like FXX. So it's not even on the regular FX channel.
No, it is on FX. It comes on.
No, but is it on FX or is it on like one of their sub channels? I think.
So no, it comes on FX. It literally, when you watch it, this is on. It's not FXX. It's FX.
I watch it. Maybe that's just the channel that I watch it on because bitch, I'm paying for these HD channels. I swear to God, I'm gonna pay for this motherfucking. I don't watch. Listen, when I come home and Trayvon is watching some shit on like one of the low double-digit channels, I was like, bitch, I am paying for these motherfucking HD channels. Yeah. You better watch this show in fucking high def.
He told me to tell you hello anyway.
Hey, hi, Ed. How you doing?
But yeah, Ed will go to a he will go to a high def show in a minute. Like,
right.
Bitch,
why are we watching this? Why are we watching this on TBS instead of TBS HD?
Meanwhile, my old basic television, I'm like, that doesn't come through very well on my standard definition television. Please, can you put that back in standard? Thank you so much.
Right. So yeah.
Anyway,
We need to. This is a very important show.
It is. It is absolutely important. It's absolutely critical for people to watch it, because if the ratings do drop for some strange reason, guess what? We will never find out what happens on this show. And also, besides that, you are a part of this fabric of this thing called life here in this community. Right. So you need to make sure that your story, your life, and may not be your specific one, but it is the people that came before you and the people that will come after you, know what happened, know that you matter, right. Know how you became who you are, how you got to where you are at this particular point. Because even for myself, 20 years ago, hanging out is completely different. Story at all. It's not my story. This isn't
my story at all, because I'm the same age. This story is set in 1987. Yeah. I was 16 years old at that point.
Listen,
living in Clinton, Maryland, I was not.
Although this is not your story, there are some elements of this thing that I absolutely identify with.
Right,
some of it.
Right. So I'm saying, even though it's not my story, I recognize as a black gay man the importance of it, of the story. And just because a story doesn't directly reflect my exact experience does not mean it's not important as part of the larger experience of the LGBTQIA experience, particularly for, let's just call them queer people of color. Mm-hmm. So that's, for that community, this is a critically important story. And because in light of, things that are going on in this country, people seem to forget that, it wasn't very long ago, people talk about, where we are with HIV and everything. Now, there was a time, this time, where you think the government doesn't give a shit now. The government gave zero fucks
in 1987
at all. They wouldn't even say the word
zero fucks
HIV or AIDS until Rock Hudson got it and was actually on TV looking like he was about to die.
And then the next person after that was Magic Johnson.
Right. But that was until the 90s. Yeah,
but it was more so Rock Hudson who became the face.
Because he was white. Because Magic Johnson was just some Negro.
Now,
in the
you
90s.
Also had the newscaster.
That was when black people cared about it.
You had the newscaster on BET, Max Robinson, who documented his decline.
Yes.
You had another newscaster. It was a white newscaster, as a matter of fact. I want to say he's in San Francisco. I can't remember his name, who documented his decline as well. So, I mean, you had several people that were doing several things.
Pedro Zamora on MTV.
In the Real World. Yes. Another person. I mean,
so, we live in a world, we rest on the shoulders of these people who are brave enough to do this. So in a lot of ways, this show is a documentary
of the epidemic,
of what they went through and what these women went through. That whole episode about Blanca trying to go into that club
and have a drink
and have a fucking drink.
Listen.
I mean, there were a group of trans women in Atlanta last year. Actually, so remember where Mix is?
Yeah.
That club, the club that's right next door to Mix, that was the club.
Yeah.
Remember our friend that bartended for us?
Yeah.
That was he works at that club now. It's the club right next door to Mix in Atlanta, where they were the trans women who worked there as drag queens were having trouble. It's one of the clubs in Atlanta also where they had a discriminatory door policy. Philadelphia, they had a discriminatory door policy. They have a lot of clubs, a lot of gay clubs have these problems with discriminatory door policies where people, they say you can't come in hoodies, or you can't come in wearing tennis shoes, or, some other bullshit. So it's not as if these are all problems that are relegated to history. These are things that are
still going on now. And could happen again if you do not understand how you got there, so that you can go forward as well.
Right.
So it's important. So definitely watch the show. That's my rant on it.
Speaking of that bullshit, Permit Patty.
You know what? This whore.
Fuck that. This whore. So, you know, this is the woman in California, in Oakland. You know, it's a lot of bullshit going on in Oakland recently.
Recently?
Well, it's been in the news recently. So we got Permit Patty. Even more recently than that, there were the people that called the police on an Oakland firefighter who was there in a fucking firefighter's uniform,
yes.
who was doing inspections,
yes.
and a bunch of people called the police on him. And I'm like, he's in a fucking firefighter's uniform. Right. So of course Negroes are stealing firefighters' uniforms.
And going,
so that they, okay, because that's what Negroes do. All right.
Right.
So, but anyway, back to this chick. So C claims that this 8-year-old girl was too loud selling water. And so she called the police. And then, so of course the girl's mother, you know, started filming her. And so she tried to duck behind the building. And then when, you know, of course this went viral, and then when she found out, she said, well, I wasn't actually trying to I didn't actually call the police. So you didn't actually call the police, so you were trying to scare this
8-year-old girl
by pretending to call the police?
And then on her interview, did she have the nerve to start crying?
No, she tried to cry. She was like,
because I was looking at her and I was like, are you trying to cry? Are you trying to really shed a tear? Listen.
And then, so now she's been forced to resign from her cannabis. It's a cannabis company for dogs, by the way.
Let's go to the next story.
So, all right. I'm just going to read the headline here. Fuck. Today, Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy announced his retirement effective July 30th. For those of you who aren't paying attention and haven't been keeping score, today the Supreme Court announced in a 5-4 decision that if you do not belong to a union, you do not have to pay what are called association fees, which are fees that unions ask non-members to pay because they get the benefits of the union. So in this particular case, this guy that sued was mad because he was having to pay $50 a month for this American Federated blah 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 union that he didn't belong to, but he was reaping the benefits of. Now let's be clear, because he was a federal employee, he gets the same benefits. So like when they negotiate a new contract and they say, all right, y'all used to get 2 weeks of vacation, but now everybody gets 3 weeks. That doesn't just apply to the people in the union. That applies to his ass too. So they negotiated on his behalf. So now he gets the benefit of that. And it used to be that you used to pay for that benefit. And that made sense to me. You don't have to pay the union dues, but they say you got to pay a little something for that. And so when when you did that, so they say, no, you don't have to do that anymore. So now that's a revenue stream that the unions are losing.
Yes.
And so now when it comes time to negotiate with the unions, this is a way to break the unions. What else has come down recently? Well, yesterday they upheld the Your President's travel ban. What else has come down recently? Oh, by the way, these are all things that passed with a conservative majority, 5-4.
Now that Kennedy, go ahead.
Kennedy was already part of that majority. They already they make it sound like, so now with Kennedy retiring, that vote is going to be replaced by someone who, now, to be clear, Kennedy voted for gay marriage. Do you really think that the justice that is going to replace him is going to vote for gay marriage?
Pay attention, people.
Pay attention.
And this is why, just on Tuesday, with the voting in Maryland, Listen, I hope you all voted, and that's another story about Maryland and these vote. But okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, keep going.
You need to pay attention at the primary, at the primaries to
every
to make sure that these people, because many of them, as I said before, have political aspirations and they are affiliated in some way, shape, or form to the higher offices, and they are driven. Their political motivations are all tied at some particular point to one side or the other. And you may just want to pay attention.
Another Supreme Court decision that was handed down this week. The Supreme Court basically said that it was perfectly fine that the Republicans in Texas created districts specifically designed to exclude Black and Hispanic Democratic voters. So basically, they said gerrymandering districts was completely fine. These are the kinds of things, these are the kind of downstream effects that voting at both the local and national level have.
Right.
Let me walk you through it. When you vote for local people at the state and local level, these are the people who create these districts. Those people who create the districts are then those people who say are the districts that then create the people who are in Congress and who are your senators, who can then vote on your Supreme Court justices. When you vote for president, those are the people who can then elect Supreme Court justices.
Yes.
So when you think about, oh, well, Hillary's emails pissed me off, it wasn't just about her emails. It was about thinking about what was Hillary's positions on all of these issues going to be versus everything else that we already knew about Donald Trump versus everything that he had already said. We can't be thinking in this short-sighted manner.
Long term.
Because of these things, this country is potentially fucked for a generation. The only way that we could potentially avoid a disaster with this judicial nomination is by flipping the Senate. And by flipping the Senate, because here's what we need to do. First of all, we really need to get rid of many of the Democrats that are there, because Nancy Pelosi and most of them hoes that are there aren't doing shit. They are there and they are comfortable with the do-nothing that they're doing. They're completely fine. Nancy Pelosi is going to be just fine because the gerrymandering works on both sides. Mm-hmm. Their districts are completely fine because they're in a district that is comfortably Democratic and is going to be that way. They're not having to compete. They're not having to do anything. So therefore, there is no real impetus for them to fight. So they don't really care because there's no fight for them. They're not fighting for you. They don't have to fight for their district. They're not fighting for any of us. So if we really want change, we have to get rid of them. And then we have to flip some Republican seats. That is going to require action on all of our parts. We have to take this fight to them. That's why when people talk about shit like Sarah Huckabee and all of this shit, listen, I'm fine with that. I mean, you know, don't put your hands on anybody because that's not going to do anybody any good because I ain't got bail money to get your ass out or anything.
$50.
I don't have $50. I got a dime. I got a nickel on
Listen.
it. Here's what I got. Here's what I want you to do. If you see that bitch in the restaurant, I want you to sit at your table. I want you to say boo. And if everybody in the restaurant does this and boo, she will eventually get up and leave. Mm-hmm. That's all I want you to do. I don't want you to confront her. I don't want you to get in her face. I don't want you to do anything like that. Because that is going to get you in trouble.
Because God only knows they're going to try to do the same thing with Maxine and with what she said.
And what we don't, because here's what we will do. Yeah. If anybody puts their hands on Maxine,
then that's going to be a problem.
Then we're going to have to fuck a bitch.
That's going to be a problem.
Then we're going to have to fuck a bitch up. Because we got to watch out because, we don't want people to do anything too crazy. So there's ways to approach this, but we are going to have to take the fight to them.
Yeah.
So don't despair.
Let's
keep it moving.
Let's keep it.
All right. So all right. So I saw another article. So on that, shout out to Latinx socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who just beat out one of the fourth most powerful Democrat in the House. And remember when we were talking about secure seats? This Democrat, whose name is Joe Crowley, is in a solidly Democratic district. And basically, by winning this primary, she essentially won. Because, I mean, it's like DC. If you win the primary, like Muriel Bowser won the primary, so that means
we pretty much knew she was. Yeah,
she's now the next mayor. So it's unlikely that some Republican challenger is going to come. So she's now. This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of action that we're talking about. You know, you got to unseat these people who are in these deeply safe seats. She is a progressive socialist who's going to come in with these new ideas and fuck shit up. This is what we need to do.
Welcome back. I don't know what the hell happened.
Anywho. All right. So, on The Root, you know, which is my favorite site. You know, listen, I love The Root.
Listen.
This was 10 reasons why Coming to America is the best black movie of all time.
Hey, boo-boo.
The best black movie of all time. So
we have several contenders for that, as far as I'm concerned.
All right,
but it is one of my favorites.
It is one of the best black movies of all time. But first of all, I'm going to recite. So all right. So this is why Harlem Nights is better than Coming to America, and I quote. I have got a girl whose pussy is so good, if you threw it up in the air, it would turn into sunshine. And scene.
Well, you know, it's not much you really argue with that, but that's one of my favorites.
Okay.
That is
now,
one.
I do have another contender.
What's your other contender?
You are going to turn down a pussy like this, staring you smack in your face. No man can turn down this pussy. You are not gay. I know gay when I see gay. My brother, he is gay. You are not gay. You just don't want to fuck me.
And scene. Yeah.
Notice though that all of these movies are Eddie Murphy movies. So what we can say is that Eddie Murphy is
So I'm gonna go ahead and include even some older ones.
Okay.
I'm gonna include Sparkle.
Okay.
I'm gonna include Car Wash for the comedy that it just absolutely brung to my life at that particular point, and even now when I look back at it.
Okay.
Uptown Saturday Night.
Okay.
And I'm also going to throw in that mix, for me, School Days. It was hilarious, but it was a theatrical. It was a theatrical piece that I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed because it was a musical, it was a comedy, it was a drama, it was everything, but it was all about us. And at the time, it was stuff that I was literally about to go through or have been going through. So for me, that's why that's one of my favorites as well.
Oh yeah, School Days definitely.
One of my yeah. So
and The Color Purple.
I to this day, every time I watch Color Purple, I still cry.
I don't cry anymore.
Oh no, I just tear up.
I can't get sucked into the Color Purple hole because if I'll be flipping through the color. Like, why? All my life I had to. My name's not Squeak. It's Mary Agnes.
And I'm gonna sing.
Mary Agnes, Miss Mary, who gives a damn? Boy, you gonna sit there and let this nappy-head gal cuss you out, sitting at the head of your own dinner table, you acting like a waiter.
Or when Sugar Baby looked up and she said, "You sure is ugly." There was a lot going on in that movie, but it's so powerful. So when I Color Purple, yes, as a contender. Coming to America again. There's a theatrical piece I love it, but you know
they did make some good points. He said there are some lines I didn't even think about this. Terms like juices and berries.
Well, yeah.
Sexual chocolate. Describing a football game as kicking an oblong ball made of pigskin through a big H. It was a most gripping victory. Along with, that ain't nothing but an ultra perv. And maybe the most popular phrase, because every time I see my my frat, we all, whatever we do, I don't even know how this creeps into the conversation, but somehow we always manage to say, "Is that velvet?"
Listen. Or the thing was like, aha. Yeah.
As referring to as Dr. Martin Luther the King.
It's a good movie, but I don't know about, I just can't, I don't know.
And then of course, hold on.
Get yourself together.
Come on. You need some water too.
Oh, Lord.
She's your queen to be.
Listen, that is a ritual, even for Onyx. Listen,
yes.
Any brothers that win a title, we are there. Listen, we are going to jump out, and that's what we do. It's just going to happen. So, Listen, did we get Mr. Mid-Atlantic? We got him at the.
We did.
Yeah, we did. We got that's right. Yeah, we did. Okay,
we did.
But yeah, so.
I think Black Panther is going to make it in that list ultimately. I think it's going to stand the test of time.
I think it will. I think it will.
I don't know that it's quotable though. I think it's going to be
colonizer. You scared? Don't do that, colonizer. You scared?
Yeah, but that's only that one line. I just don't. Well, you know, show them who you are.
So I don't know. There's more that's coming up.
Yeah, I think we gotta watch it a few more time. It's gotta, wait till it come on TBS. Then we'll start, figure it out because then they'll figure out the best parts. So before we go, I do want to touch on Drag Race because I feel like there's an important conversation to be had there. Because listen, your girl, the Vixen, walked out, and I was like,
rude.
Bye.
Listen. You are absolute. Listen,
you were out of order.
You're just wrong. You came on the show
saying you wanted to start shit. Listen, in the words of the legendary Coco Avion,
and I quote,
"You said bring it, so she brought it, and you couldn't carry."
End scene. That's all that it was. Because listen, and on top of that, how rude and disrespectful was that? It was just absolutely rude and disrespectful that you do that on the show that put you in the public eye. And I think going forward, your career might, I don't know about your career. I think you'll be fine.
Because on one hand, I sort of feel her because, watching it back, I do feel like she did have a bit of a point in that no one was acknowledging that Eureka did poke her. However, she didn't have to let it go there. She allows herself to get so worked up.
Eureka got her own stuff because I've seen videos of her on the phone talking about my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga.
Oh well, yeah.
Eureka has her own issues. Oh. So listen.
I listen. I'm not voting. I'm not looking for Eureka to win at all. I'm Team Asia. Listen, I'm always Team anybody. I'm always voting for everybody black.
So the Cameron part, was how shady
That
was
so
that?
so shady.
How shady was
they
that?
They were like,
who do you think?
She said, what did you say? She said, shaded me, eliminated me, Eureka. So, but I'm Team Asia. I mean, I guess I'd be fine. Who is it? I'll be fine. I mean, I want Asia to win, and I'm fine if Aquaria wins. I mean, if for me, in descending order, it's Asia, Aquaria, and actually Asia and Aquaria are neck and neck. I really will be fine if either of them win.
The only problem
for different reasons.
Yeah,
because I mean, I like Aquaria because I feel like she has really matured from the start of the show to the end.
But now the linchpin might be Tyra was the first and the youngest queen to have won at that particular point in time, and she has had so many issues as she's been growing up in the spotlight. So I think that now they're two different people, and I get it. It's also two different times.
But I always felt like Tyra never really matured on the show, though.
Well, no, she did and she didn't. But her problem seemed to come about after the show. But my thing is with Aquaria as well. Although you matured on the show somewhat, you learned to shut your mouth. That's the most mature thing. When you get off the show and you're out and about and you're doing your professional thing, what are you doing? Because that might be a problem for her. So I think that might be that's a plus and a minus for her for Aquaria. But with Asia, I would be okay with her, and I actually would like. I think Eureka is okay as well.
I agree, George. Eureka needs Jesus,
but I don't know. I like her personality, though.
What I like about Asia is that Asia, and I was reading something about this, is that Asia treats Rue as a peer. There's not this hero worship like some of the other girls. And I love the way that she took it to Rue. She was like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, she spoke her mind, and but she wasn't disrespectful.
No, that was what I appreciated.
Absolutely,
and she was like, I felt what Rue was saying, too. It was like, listen,
listen, I'm going to be very personal. I've had a very good friend for almost 30 years, and I absolutely love and adore him to death. And to this day, if I got a call from him, I will do anything for him. I just want to be clear about that. But there are some people and some things and some times in your life when you just have to say, that is not my issue. You have got to go.
Right.
And that's at your own doing.
Right.
I love you, but there's nothing more I can do for you.
Right.
Period. And I felt every bit of that.
And I also felt what Asia was saying is that, she is clearly in pain and, she needs someone to be there for her. I'm talking about the vixen. And to hear her and, listen to what she is saying. And I mean, I get that too. But, my cup fills up with that very quickly. I am there to meet you halfway, but you're not going to keep yelling at me like that. I'm going to be like, girl, I am here to listen to you, but you're not going to keep yelling and screaming at me. I'm going to be like, I'm here for you. Girl, I said I'm here for you. I'm telling you the last time, I'm here for you. I'm out. And that's literally how that progression is going to go. I'm going to give you that third time, and there's not going to be. I'm not going to give you two strikes and you're out. I'm going to give you that third one, but then I'm out because I'm not going to keep giving you more and more chances. Because I'm like, I understand, but at some point you're going to have to calm down. And I feel like it's like with our brother, the one. It's like, girl, I'm not just going to keep letting you scream and, you feel like you could just keep spouting off and, as Obama said, you keep popping off, and then I'm just supposed to be like, oh, okay, well, he's young and he's got... No, girl, you're a grown-ass fucking man. And let's keep it real. These are not trans women. You're a dude. You're a grown-ass man. So get your shit together. Figure out what the fuck your problem is. If you want help, I'm here to help you. Right. But I'm not just going to sit here for hours on end and listen to you bitch all the fucking time.
No, ma'am.
So, and that's that.
Yeah, something I forgot to mention also. Shout out to Links for Folsom and the demos. Shout out to Dominion for demos at Folsom. Shout out to John as well.
Yes.
And also to all the other... demo bottoms that were out there. So it was a great time.
And shout out to Renai for his what is that? Pantheon of Leather nomination.
Congratulations. And on a sad note, we lost the patriarch of the Jackson family on Tuesday.
Yes,
yesterday.
It was today.
It was today. Yeah, today. So my condolences to Janet and the rest of the family. So, yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, we're going to close this puppy out because we are coming down to a landing.
Yes, so we're bringing this in. So the BGK8 show streams live on Wednesdays on www.voxwave.com from 9:15 to 10:15 p.m. Eastern and 6:15 to 7:15 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday if you search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGK8 show with Dominion and Epic. Coming in the fall of 2018, we will have a live studio audience. Tickets will be $75 a piece. No, it'll be free. But
you can Venmo me.
If you want it. We're passing around a collection plate.
I'm just saying, yeah.
I got a roll.
Listen, we had the people, we had the usher stand by the door when the plate goes around.
Right. So, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we will be on hiatus during the month of July. So, you can tune in to www.voxwave.com, again, from 9:15 to 10:15 p.m. Eastern and 6:15 to 7:15 p.m. Pacific to catch the best of the BGK8 show featuring episode 1, which was our premiere episode.
Ooh.
I think that was fun. That was fun.
I mean, it was, but it's like, it was like,
we were
raw.
It was
very
rough.
raw. It's like,
but it was fun.
Very rough. But that's okay. That's fine. You got to start somewhere.
Episode 8, which was the Wakanda episode. Episode 11, which was our trip to Atlanta and featuring the ball dunkings. Yeah, it's good times. And episode 15, which was Beachella.
Yeah, Beachella was good too. So
yes, so
but you can get your doses of the show, of the BGK8 show. So I think those are good dosages.
Yes, and we will be back the first Wednesday in August. And so, Epic, how can the viewers get in contact with you?
So you can call me at 777-9311. No, okay. You can reach me on Facebook, Epic Onyx. You can also catch me on Instagram at I am Epic Onyx, and you can also reach me on Twitter at Epic Onyx1.
So you can catch me at 202-867-5309. And on Twitter and Instagram at Dom Onyx, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Dom Onyx and www.domonyx.com.
So when we come back, we will have some more shenanigans, like a whole month of shenanigans. Because we gotta,
we're going to
Atlanta
next weekend.
So that'll be fun. It's gonna be real fun.
Oh yeah. And not only, and I'm going to Dory Alley at the end of San Francisco.
Just gotta rub it in.
Yes, we're going. It's gonna be.
No, we're gonna try to figure that one out. But But anyway, a whole month of Wednesdays free, but you can get to our show and check out all of our best of episodes.
Oh, and we finally will get everything uploaded to iTunes and podcasts, and we will have a Facebook presence and a bunch of other stuff. So look for us there, and we will see you all in a month.
Enjoy your summer. Bye.
We on summer vacation, y'all.
Are you ready for the summer?
Oh, girl, you got me going around in circles. And I don't even wear a pullover. Let's do this.